Hey everybody, you're watching We the Fandom, where we discuss comic books, pop culture, and the fandom experience. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to see more content. How's it going everybody? Jacob here at We the Fandom, and yesterday was DC's fandom event, which is basically a internet, kind of like an internet Comic-Con, but specifically for DC, basically showcasing certain panels to include ones that had Zack Snyder going over the Snyder Cut for Justice League, James Gunn going over Suicide Squad. They had a panel talking about the new Arkham Knights game, and initially I wasn't really interested in watching DC fandom, so I kind of didn't. I did watch the revealing of the new Snyder Cut trailer, but I had to go back to watch the Batman one, which I'm going to show both trailers today in this video, and just kind of pause throughout and make comments on them. So yeah, let's get to it. So we start off with the Justice League trailer. For those of you who don't know, the Zack Snyder, due to family, I guess family emergency, you could call it, I guess, he had to leave the production of Justice League early, and so Joss Whedon basically took over, and a lot of people were unhappy with the final cut that Joss Whedon produced of Justice League. So basically, a few years ago, fan petitions started, and I guess the fans were powerful enough that this past spring, DC and Warner Brothers announced that they will actually be making the Snyder Cut. So Zack Snyder's going to come back, be making a bunch of edits. I think he actually has some of the cast coming back to do new voiceovers. But that just goes to show you the power of the fandom, which is kind of one of the purposes of this channel, We the Fandom, to get fan voices, to kind of advocate for fan voices. But yeah. So we saw go back a little bit there. That's Darkseid, who's supposed to be kind of the main villain of this movie. He didn't appear in the original Justice League cut, and I guess I'm hoping this isn't like the final version because the CGI doesn't look great. He kind of looks like I don't know, like a video game CGI villain from like 4 or 5 years ago. So hopefully they fix that up. I really like that scene right there. I think Zack Snyder does a better job of capturing the. He does a better job of the cinematography than Joss Whedon did, just from what I'm seeing so far. I'm guessing for each character, they're going to have a lot more character development, which would be nice to see. Obviously, they kind of had to throw everything together for the Justice League movie. Unlike the Avengers, they didn't really build up each character before they all met. They had the Superman Man of Steel movie, and then they had Batman vs Superman, which enough people know about Batman. They don't really need more movies about him, but they didn't really do a whole lot for Aquaman, The Flash, Wonder Woman. They did have the Wonder Woman movie. Aquaman came after Justice League came out. The Flash will be getting a movie sometime in the next couple of years, and then I don't know about Cyborg. Apparently, Cyborg was supposed to be like one of the main characters of this film, which, I mean, it'll be nice to see more character development for his character, but I personally don't care about Cyborg. I think he's one of the least interesting Justice League characters, but he's also one of the least interesting DC characters in general. and I'm not sure why they decided to put him on the Justice League. I'm also really excited for the black suit Superman. Although I don't really care for Ezra Miller's interpretation of the Flash, it will be nice to see more of the Flash in the movie, um, and how it ties into the Flash movie that they end up coming out with. Even as dark as the Justice League movie was, like the environment, atmosphere, and all that, the Snyder cut definitely has like a darker tint to it than the Joss Whedon version did. Yeah, so there's definitely going to be more motivation for Cyborg's character to join the Justice League rather than just him showing up because he is a cyborg now. Also, Steppenwolf looks way more badass than he did in the Joss Whedon cut. The CGI for Steppenwolf was pretty terrible, and also I think they definitely modified him from what the original trailer was showing. But looks like we're gonna get to see that now. Interesting song choice for this, as well as you'll see in the Batman trailer. I feel like the songs are kind of off for the trailers, but whatever.
These guys probably fought hundreds of thousands of other super beings on the other planets he's destroyed, right? And we have to assume he's won.
I don't care how many demons he's fought and how many hells. He's never fought us. Got us united.
I'm hoping to get rid of a lot of the lighthearted jokiness that they had in the original or the Joss Whedon cut, because it really kind of broke the mood of the movie. I mean, it's got doom and gloom, and then every once in a while, even characters like Bruce Wayne would make a joke, which is very, very out of character. And it seemed like they were just trying to copy the Avengers, which I don't really want that from DC. But yeah, that was the Justice League Snyder cut, and um, yeah, if you didn't know, it's the Snyder cut. I believe is not coming to theaters. It's going to HBO Max, and basically what their plan is to uh, I think release it in 4 parts, probably over the course of a year, and then I assume they're going to release it in like a movie format. Probably go straight to Blu-ray from HBO Max, unless they decide to release it in theaters at some point, which I don't know how that's going to turn out. But yeah, so here we have the Batman trailer. I was kind of disappointed and excited about this at the same time. Not sure who that character is supposed to be, but if you can't tell, it says "No More Lies" written on that face. The Nirvana threw me off because I believe this movie is supposed to take place in the 90s, but I don't know. Nirvana is not a song or a band that I ever thought would cover a Batman movie. So we'll see how it plays in the actual soundtrack of the movie. So for people that don't know, that's the new version of James Gordon. I'm guessing that this movie is not taking place in the current DC universe where has Ben Affleck's Batman and Henry Cavill's Superman and all that, where Justice League is taking place. People who know me already know how I feel about, guess, like race swapping and gender swapping characters. Basically, taking a character that has existed for years and changing their race or gender or sexual orientation for, you know, people wanting more diversity and representation in the movies. And I think it's kind of lazy. I mean, like if you want more diversity and inclusion in the movie, then just create new characters. Because you're just by race swapping Commissioner Gordon, all you're doing is creating basically a token version of a character that's already existed for decades instead of creating an original character. But it's going to be him as well as Catwoman. I believe they changed the race of those two characters.
Let's play a game. Just me and you. Any of this mean anything to you?
So it's definitely the Riddler as one of the villains. I know Catwoman showing up as well, and I believe, what's his name? Colin Farrell was casted to play the Penguin, which should be interesting because I've never thought of Colin Farrell as the Penguin type, but I guess if they have like a fat suit and all that, we'll see how that goes. One thing I want to point out is that they made a point to say that this movie is going to be very not exactly grounded in the same way that the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy was, but in a way that it's more based on like detective skills, which I'm actually interested in. That's one of the things that I think will is appealing to me in this movie. And I think it's kind of funny because I feel like they've been doing Batman for decades and they have yet to capture the entirety of his character in one actor or one trilogy or something. Because you had Christian Bale's Batman, and they really focused on his mission to basically serve justice to criminals, and so they got that part right. And then the Ben Affleck Batman, they showcased the kind of darker, older, grittier, vengeance-based Batman, which you saw in The Dark Knight Returns, which technically is an possibly alternate future, so it's not in the main continuity of Batman, but it was still a good take on him. And then now, obviously, they're going to focus on Batman as the detective, which is what he originally was when he was created in, I believe, 1939. So maybe someday we'll get a Batman who has all of the Batman qualities, but for now, we'll see how Robert Pattinson does. People gave Robert Pattinson a lot of shit for being cast as Batman, including myself. I'm not going to knock him for his acting ability, but I don't think he fits Bruce Wayne. And as you can see here in this shot, actually, a little bit more.
You're becoming quite slippery.
Also, that was the voice of the actor Andy Serkis, who's going to play Alfred Pennyworth. Andy Serkis is most famously known for playing the voice of and the motion capture for the character Gollum in Lord of the Rings. He recently played Ulysses Claw in the MCU in the Black Panther and Avengers Age of Ultron movie. I think, what was his name? can't remember the name of the actor who's playing Alfred currently in the Justice League and Batman vs Superman movie, but I wish they would stick to one Alfred.
What's you want to see it?
See, I think they're going. It kind of seems like they're going for kind of like an emo version of Batman, which is fitting for Robert Pattinson, but I don't think that's really fitting for the character of Batman unless you're doing like I get every generation they're trying to modernize Batman more and more to fit the current audience, but I mean, as long as you're not going back to like the original version, or if you go into like the Adam West version of Batman, I think you don't need to try so hard to make Batman seem modern. Yeah, that last shot was the Penguin. That's supposed to be Colin Farrell, which you can't really tell. And then before that was Catwoman. That scene's going to be interesting to see in the movie with him. It looked like either in jail or Batman fighting the Gotham City Police Department within their department. I mean, even Batman within the building surrounded by all those cops, I'm not sure how he would escape, but it'll be cool to see that. So before this starts, hold on a second. I accidentally went back to the beginning, but no, before that last scene starts, like I said, I was slightly disappointed. The trailer drew me in, but also disappointed me at the same time. So I was kind of balanced in my opinion up until this fight scene. So, but I think they put in the fight scene to try to draw in people like me who didn't really care. I'm not really sure if I care for the Robert Pattinson interpretation of Batman so far, but I think they put in this fight scene in the trailer to kind of draw me back in and people like me. Hold on, go back more. Now I'll admit that's pretty badass. I mean, we're coming hot off the heels of the last Batman, Ben Affleck, who in Batman vs Superman had that just freaking awesome warehouse fight scene where, I mean, Bruce Wayne was just throwing like one punch and knocking guys out, almost like he had super strength or something. I really enjoyed that. Christopher Nolan's Batman was really cool, but he kind of lacked extensive fight scenes like that. And I'm not sure if this scene in the trailer is going to be like a one-off in the movie or not, but I also wanted to point out Robert Pattinson's voice doing the "I am vengeance" line. I think he could have put more effort into that. I mean, I think Ben Affleck, even aside from the voice changer they obviously used, had a good Batman voice. Christian Bale, I know a lot of people make fun of him for doing the kind of forced growl when he's Batman, but I think it fit after a while. It took people a little bit to get used to it, but I'm hoping Robert Pattinson can do a little bit deeper Batman voice. Yeah, it's definitely a darker, kind of grungier Batman, which is one of the things that kind of turns me off to it. But I'll still go into the theater or however they release it. Try to be open-minded about it. I mean, it is Batman. But yeah, This Batman movie is going to be released in 2021, directed by Matt Reeves, starring Robert Pattinson. It's funny because Ben Affleck is rumored to appear in the new Flash movie. So it'll be interesting to see kind of two different Batmans around the same time. And I wonder, Ben Affleck originally stated that he wasn't going to come back to Batman, but if he does, it'll be interesting to see how that kind of rivalry plays out. Obviously, I think it'll be two separate universes, but it'll be interesting to see how the fans decide which one they care for more. I believe the Robert Pattinson Batman is going to have a trilogy at least. So I guess we'll find out if people like Ben Affleck or Robert Pattinson better. Right now, my vote is on Ben Affleck, but we'll see. I might do a video on some more trailers from DC fandom later. I might not. These were kind of the big two that I actually cared about. But yeah. That was kind of my review of the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League and Batman trailers from DC fandom. If you guys are new to We the Fandom, please hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like, and I'll see y'all next time.